Hey guys, Zach with Blade HQ. We're here at the 2019 SHOT Show, and we're looking at a bunch of stuff here at the Kershaw booth. I'm here with Jim. How you doing?
Good.
I feel like we just talked, didn't we?
We did. Hey, are you sure it's not Blade Show?
Blade, no, it's not Blade Show. It's definitely not Blade Show.
It is SHOT Show. Okay.
SHOT Show 2019, and we've got some really awesome stuff on the table from Kershaw.
Yeah.
So start walking us through this.
Okay. So, first off, we have some new knives in our launch series. This is the Launch 8. This is a Matt Diskin design. We're really excited about this one. Matt came to us with this cool modern take on a traditional Italian stiletto. And so we've really done our best to try to interpret that and do some cool stuff with it. So, as with the rest of our current launch autos, this has a CPM 154 blade, two-piece aluminum handles with a semi-integral backspacer, and then it just has this beautiful symmetrical look. And we've achieved that by having this cool new carbon fiber inlay. That's something new for the launch series. We've never done that on any of these knives before. That allows us to cover up the pivot because unfortunately reality has to set in eventually, and in this case the pivot just wasn't symmetrical and we said that will never do. So we put in this really cool overlay to give it this beautiful look. So really fun, really sleek. The blade is really light because it's got a full width flat grind. So this knife really cracks. It's a lot of fun. MSRP of $159.99 on this one.
And then with this, you call it a stiletto, right? And
yeah.
You guys probably saw at home the way that Jim closed this. It's only ground on one side, so it's not a dagger blade.
It is single-edged.
Single-edged. So no worries about trying to close it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, so next up, I'm gonna actually show you these both at once. We have two new California legal autos. People have really fallen in love with the Launch 4.
Those Launch 4s are fun, man. They're really fun.
It's a really nice size. Even if you don't live in California, it's a really comfortable size. It doesn't tend to scare the neighbors quite so much. And so this is the Launch 9. We have drop point blade. We have this cool new groove in the blade, something that we haven't done a lot on a lot of these new USA knives. Nice machining on the aluminum handles. This has a working finish, which is more of just a little darker, a little scratchier stone wash.
A couple nods to Hinder there, it seems like.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's what Rick calls it. We've continued to use that term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Reversible deep carry clip. We do have a lanyard hole that goes through and kind of inside of the handle there, so it's kind of a neat, almost kind of nostrils in the back. And an MSRP of $139.99 on this knife.
Yeah. And you guys have probably, if you've been watching the SHOT Show coverage, you guys will know, check the links in the description, check Blade HQ for current pricing. MSRP, we usually do pricing a little bit different than MSRP, so.
Absolutely, yeah. So next up we have the Launch 10. So this is actually a real aggressive little hawksbill blade. And the cool thing about this is, you look at that and it looks like this aggressive thing like a karambit, but really it's a super functional blade. For a lot of things, we all get a lot of stuff from Amazon for opening those boxes, for that kind of work, for detail cutting if you wanted to cut something out of a piece of paper, for example. You have a lot of control, it's very comfortable, it's nice flat to put your finger on. Cutting something like monofilament fishing line, where it tends to slip over that curvy blade, it's got this scoop that just forces it into it and forces the cut.
Yeah, catch it right in that valley.
Yeah, so it's actually a super functional little knife. It's got this neat sway back look to the handle, but it's also very comfortable. Really you get more than a two-finger grip on that handle without it looking awkward.
For sure. That's one thing with the Launch 4 is I notice it's usually, for me, it's a three-fingered knife.
Yep.
But this particular one, I got a bit medium-sized hand.
Yeah.
That's definitely a four-fingered grip. But yeah, that's not bad at all.
So Launch 10 and an MSRP of $149.99 on this one.
Guys, let us know down in the comments. Kurt keeps saying that he doesn't want to carry a Launch 4. He doesn't like the Launch 4. He's another guy that we have on camera from time to time.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if we should get Kurt one of these hawkbill ones. I think he might like this. We're going to convert him. We're going to convert him yet.
Very good.
All right, what else we got?
Okay. So next up, we've got a couple of knives that are really fun because this is the first time we have used on one of our Kershaw Originals designs, the Gtc Slt Flipper. So you see these two knives have that cool spring-loaded tab. That's what SLT stands for. That's an innovation by Gus Cicchini of GTC Knives. And we were able to use it on a couple of our own designs, which has been really fun. So we have the collateral. These are also both, I should say, speed safe assisted knives. So again, something that I don't believe has been done with SLT before.
So a lot of firsts here for the Kershaw line then.
Yeah, something really cool. So we have a real modern design on the collateral. We have these deeply sculpted handles. Again, we have a carbon fiber overlay that hides the pivot, gives it a real sleek appearance. We have a nice satin finish on the blade, steel frame lock, gray PVD finish on the handles, and an MSRP of $64.99 on this one. So then moving on to this one, this is the Turismo. It's got a real sleek, flowing look. That's the great thing about that SLT flipper, is that you don't have the flipper sticking down, so you get this really beautiful, as a designer, it's nice to have that opportunity to try to have a really flowing line throughout a whole knife.
A lot of clean lines.
This has kind of a leaf-shaped blade, which also, again, is really comfortable and really usable. Again, nicely contoured steel handles, steel frame lock, reversible deep carry pocket clip on this one, and an MSRP of $59.99.
Oh, that's not bad at all. The lines on this they're really, really clean. And for an MSRP at that price, that's a steal of a deal right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even the little details in the backspace are really neat.
Yeah, we have that cool hexagon texturing.
Yeah. Now, you said this is the Turismo? Is that?
It's called the Turismo,
Okay,
yeah.
so I only know that word from playing video games, the Gran Turismo video game. Is it car inspired? Is that kind of where?
Car inspired, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of video game inspiration there.
Nice. I like it.
Gets hard to come up with names after a couple of years.
I like it. All right, what else we got on the table here?
All right, so let's see. Next up, we have a knife called the XCOM. This is a Les George design. And Les is a big military guy. He's a big collector of military knives. So he has his own little collection of daggers. I think he calls it the Les George Curated Museum, Hall of Curios and Relics or something like that. He does a good job. He's got lots of cool stuff.
Cool.
And so he designed this to look like the World War II era M3 trench knife. So it has that, again, sort of bayonet style blade, the distinctive curvature at the front of the handle that the guard of that knife had. And then this grooved pattern on it is meant to mimic the original stacked leather handles.
I was gonna say, this looks, it definitely harkens back to that for sure.
Absolutely. So we have HCR 13 MOV on the blade, which is mostly what we use on our import knives. We have those grooves in the handle. We also have a flat scale with a faux G10 texture, so it looks a lot like G10. Reversible deep carry pocket clip. This is a manual action knife, so it's not assisted. It's nice and smooth to open with that thumb disc. And an MSRP of $44.99 on this knife.
Great.
So next up, we have another Les George design. This one's called the Boilermaker. This knife has got a lot of really cool features in it. It's got the pass-through with the Kershaw logo on the inside of the handle. Again, these fun openings in the... It's got a nice sweeping blade, comfortable flipper, and this distinctive brown wash finish. So it's a brown PVD coating that's been stone washed, and it gives it this real vintagey feel. It's like walking up to an old tank or something. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's got a great design to it.
Yeah, so a lot of fun. The Boilermaker has an MSRP of $59.99. So next we have a knife called the Oblivion. This is one of my favorites this year. This is really kind of just a cool design. We have this really neat kind of futuristic shape, lots of trapezoids. We have this isn't actually an overlay, it is actually inlaid into the handle, and we've made it work with the speed safe mechanism. Again, sort of a bayonet style blade with a spear point. Assisted opening with the flipper being really comfortably toward the front, so you get a lot of leverage on it.
Yeah. And you said speed safe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can just feel it fly open.
Reversible deep carry pocket clip, steel frame lock, and we have this over travel stop in the back that kind of matches up with that front handle as well. So real custom looking design at a reasonable price point of $59.99 on that one. So then for something a little different, they're both a little different, I guess, than that last knife. This is the you all may have seen this before. This is called the Cinder. This new version is called the Copper Cinder. So this is a Rick Hinderer design. It's very small. Again, one of the smallest knives in our lineup. Makes a great keychain knife. And what's great about this knife is we have these real solid copper handles on it.
So that was my biggest question. So this will age and wear then?
It will,
Awesome.
Absolutely. It's going to patina, and it's going to do it at a reasonable price point. This one's actually only $29.99. So real copper. We have that nice little blade. It's just a little over 1 inch. Very comfortable. Again, very usable. Great for packages and small things. We have an inset liner lock in the copper handle. We have an integral bottle opener in the steel backspacer. I mean, as small as it is, it's very robust.
It's a great keychain knife.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one that we love a lot. This and we actually, it looks like you might have one on the table to talk about, but we call it the Kershuffle, but the shuffle, right? Both great knives.
Yeah. So then moving on, this is a knife called the Epistle. The neat thing about this knife is that this is a very slim, almost gentleman's kind of knife. It's a 3-inch blade, and something that you'll see as a theme in a lot of our stuff recently is that this narrowing of the knife from top to bottom. We've discovered that really makes it wonderful and fits in your pocket. You can reach by the knife to get other things. And in this case, it's just as comfortable in a pair of jeans as it is in a pair of slacks. So if you have to go between those two worlds, it works out really well for a knife that you'd wear to work or to church, or something you'd wear just every day in your jeans.
Well, and it's called the Epistle, so right, it'll fit right in, right?
Absolutely. So we have aluminum handles, bead blasted blade with a nice high flat grind, a nice kind of tapering grind as well. Has a real nice look to it.
Yeah.
Some fun design features. We have actually have a big hole in the clip with the Kershaw logo underneath it rather than being stamped in the clip.
And I think a lot of guys will be excited about that. You know, you hear a lot about billboarding, right?
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
it's cool to see, like, you know what knife it is, but it doesn't have to be billboarded, right in your face.
I also really like we have a non-cylindrical pivot up here, so we have this cool non-circular pivot with a really heavy texture. Feel that with your thumb. So when you hold that in your knife, it gives you a little bit of grip, more than you would normally have on an aluminum-handled knife like that.
Yeah.
So it makes it very functional without being overly sticky in your pocket.
Yeah, and that's another nice thing about this. You know, you talk about it as a possible gentleman's carry. It's very light, so it feels good in the hand.
It is. Okay. So now we have a knife called the Mixtape. This is meant to. Some of the design features actually, our designer worked on this, did a really good job, and he was trying to make this have that sort of, literally look a bit like a cassette tape. And some of the features.
It has some of that with kind of the
openings.
window here where you'd see the reels and stuff.
Absolutely.
For any of you younger viewers that are watching cassette tapes, we're before you had digital music.
Absolutely. Yeah, they back when we were riding dinosaurs, our cars had little holes for your feet to go through.
Exactly.
So it's been modeled after this primitive technology. No, but the Mixtape is a really cool knife. It's one thing I like about it is design-wise. It's a little different. It's got this sweeping underbelly. Still relatively narrow. It's quite light with the glass-filled nylon handles. I really enjoy that pocket clip. It's made to actually look like it's coming. It really is coming right out of the inside of the knife.
Yeah, it's
a very
neat.
different way of building it.
Yeah, how it goes in and out like that. A little bit of a statement, right? Yep. Sits a little bit high in the pocket, but it's not a huge knife, so I don't think that's a deal breaker by any means.
It's really not a problem. Thumb disc, manual action, and an MSRP of $39.99 on the Mixtape.
That's a pretty cool little knife.
So next up, we kept Les George real busy this year. So
it sounds like it.
We have another knife of his called the Seguin. So if I can open it right. This is assisted opening. I'm just bad at opening knives. We have steel handles with a really cool radial pattern, and what you can't see on camera is this is actually quite deep, and so it's surprisingly grippy.
Oh wow, yeah, that's got a really nice grip to it, and it falls kind of where you'd want that grip to be.
Absolutely, this is really easy to hang on to. It'd be a great work knife. We have an ultra deep carry pocket clip on it, so it goes all the way to the handle and disappears completely into your pocket. Nice slim clip too, so it's a bit more understated. So another really cool knife. MSRP of $59.99. So next up, we have the Antic, which is it's a knife in that same series as the Shuffle.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of stout, short little feel to it. It's got a bit of karambit style with the hole in the handle, without the super aggressive karambit feel in the blade. So it's more of a traditional drop point. Again, nice small size, manual action. We have a blue PVD on the handles.
Will it come in other colors or currently just right
currently
now?
just the blue
Just the
PVD.
blue. Yeah.
You know, hey, it is short, so maybe we can get Ben to carry this one too.
Hey, there we go. And then
But it's blue.
yeah, see, you're winning Ben left and right here.
We're designing these for Ben. It's all about, he's got his picture on the wall. We think, how do we please Ben today?
How do we please Ben? I think that every day.
What would Ben do?
One thing that's nice about this Kramit ring here, or whatever you want to call it, the ring, is that it turns a 3-fingered knife into a 4-fingered knife.
Absolutely.
Pretty easily. Now I have to ask though, because I love the Kershaw so much, right? Did you guys get rid of the bottle opener, or am I just missing it?
No. So the bottle opener actually works a bit more like a traditional church key style bottle opener.
Oh, yeah.
So it hooks on like this. It works really well as a cap lifter.
That's super rad.
And then this little bit on the end actually functions as a screwdriver.
Oh yeah, that'd be a screwdriver or pry bar, no problem.
It's probably about the size to work on your hinderer knives. So
yeah, there you go, right? That's cool. That's really cool. And what one's that called again?
That one's called the Antic.
The Antic.
And an MSRP of $29.99 on that
That's
one.
great little second carry knife there.
Yeah, or a keychain.
Yeah, exactly.
Works out good. So next up, we have something different. So this is called the kick flip, and for those of you who actually know what that means, you'll know this is a skateboard tool. So this is a really neat little design. So if you're out there working, if you're shredding the gnar, and you need to work on your, I'm hip to the kids.
I like this. I like this shredding the gnar.
Absolutely. This is actually endorsed by Chris Cole, who actually is a cool guy who skateboards.
Oh yeah, he's pro skater.
Unlike me, Chris Cole can do awesome stuff on a skateboard. So we have the secondary piece of the tool that holds in magnetically. Got some magnets on the back. And so this is designed so you can use it on the axle nuts, on the nuts on the trucks, and even on the kingpin nuts of the skateboard. So you can adjust all those things while you're on the go. And it was really important when we worked on this design. We got on the phone with Chris. Our designer worked on this. He talked to him, and Chris had said, it needs to be something that's small, that you can throw in your pants pocket, you'll have with you.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to carry a big set of wrenches. You're not going to carry a screwdriver. And so in this case, you take this off and you've got your Allen key and your screwdriver, so you can work with either kind of bolts that hold the truck on. And it's got all the wrenches you need, nothing you don't.
Cool.
In a comfortable size that won't get you in trouble. For kids who are too young to carry a knife, there's nothing on here to get them in trouble if they run into the police.
Yeah,
or
you could take it to school with you and not have any issues.
Yeah, it's a tool. Completely.
The most I know about skateboarding proper is I learned in Tony Hawk, so. But this is a cool tool if you are out there on your board.
I'm old enough that my first skateboard had neon pink grip tape, so.
Yes, right on.
Yeah, the 90s will live on. So that's the kickflip, and it's an MSRP of $19.99. So these have been really cheap out there, really accessible to kids who don't have a lot of money.
For sure.
Next up, we have one more Les George design. This is called the Innuendo. Really sleek. It's a pretty design. It's very sleek, very smooth. It's actually very slim. So this would be a really nice one to carry if you wanted something kind of a little bigger, but that disappears in your pocket.
Oh yeah, that is really nice.
Reversible deep carry clip. It has the thumb disc, manual action. And again, something that you guys may have seen in a lot of these knives that we've had this year. We've done a lot of fun things with the pivots.
I've been noticing the pivots have got, you guys have done a lot of work with the pivots.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a nice little flair to have.
We really want these to be unique and different, and we feel like it's important to really try to push what you can do with a knife to make it noticeable and relevant out there in the market. So the Innuendo is a cool knife, MSRP of $44.99.
Yeah, not bad at all. And a nice slim carry.
Absolutely. So next up we have the Misdirect. The Misdirect is a cool knife. This is actually part of what we call our starter series, so it's a more affordable, value-priced lineup. But those knives have always been a little more aggressive, a little big textures, lots of black wash, rough-looking finishes. And this one's much more elegant. It has some cool features. If you look at that back spacer, it's got some cool 3D where it expands out into the handle rather than just sticking in the middle.
Yeah.
We have a reversible pocket clip, really sleek, clean, contemporary kind of design. Again, kind of narrow, like we've talked about. And again, so for a value-priced knife, it's got some real high design stuff in it. It's just a really nice knife for the money.
Yeah, that's great. This is definitely a lot different than a lot of the stuff I've seen from your guys' starter series. So
absolutely,
this is actually a really cool entry. And what's MSRP on that?
MSRP is $29.99. So Next up, we have a knife called the Decibel. So the Decibel, if I could be cheesy, makes a statement and it makes it loud. So
is this where the name Decibel came from, or?
Decibel, we try to draw names from things that we like. So I'm a guitar player, so
there we go.
Decibel was one of those music terms that came up. But it really fits the knife. It's actually got this, the designer that worked on this really was thinking a lot about it. It has this kind of sound wave pattern. I don't know if you can see it on camera there.
Yeah, there in the pivot.
It's got that sound wave pattern on the pivot. Really a fun, very contemporary look. It's different because it's got this, normally you have the knife where it kind of arches up, and it actually arches inward.
Yeah.
The pocket clip even sits on a little piece that arches downward in, so you can still reverse that pocket clip. It has that, same
so
kind of
you can
dished in on the front and the back.
And it doesn't feel weird in hand, even though it's kind of got that valley to it.
Not at all. You'd think
it doesn't really
would,
translate.
But it doesn't. If anything, it almost gives your fingers a place to rest.
Yeah, it really does. Huh.
So we have a really cool pocket clip on this one. Decorative tube spacers that are that nice blue color that match the back spacer.
Yeah.
Manual action, thumb stud opening, real smooth and simple. And that one with an MSRP of $59.99.
Yeah, it is really smooth. You know, it channels a little bit of Tron for me.
Absolutely.
I like
really
it a lot.
does.
That's a cool knife.
Yeah. And then last but not least, in this year's lineup, we have the Reverb XL. So the Reverb model's been one that we've done pretty well with. It's been a fun knife. It's really light, fits a different kind of aesthetic. It's a little more fun and modern and even a little outdoorsy because it's got this real minimalist, lightweight aspect.
Well, yeah, and even the carabiner clip, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, that is really nice.
You can hang it on a climbing harness or on a backpack or on your belt loop of your jeans. But a very sweeping, curving design where the other one was a little more geometric.
Yeah.
But we still have the same cool G10 overlay with, well, the G10 handle with a carbon fiber overlay, and it's real carbon fiber on there, so that's cool. It's not just a painted pattern.
Yeah.
Carabiner clip, gray PVD finish on everything, and got enough grip on that big groove in the blade that you can open it one-handed, or you can open it with two hands if you want by pinching between your fingers.
Yeah, pinch grip.
Yep. And then the frame lock again with that gray titanium coating, and an ultra deep carry pocket clip again. And on this one, we have an MSRP of $44.99. So again,
great.
Reasonably priced for the budget mine.
Yeah. So out of all the knives on the table, which one's your favorite? If you had to pick a favorite, which one's your favorite?
That's a tough choice. I think to be honest, I enjoy the Collateral.
The Collateral is really
maybe
cool.
I like the weird stuff. I'd say I like the Collateral. And again, because I'm a designer, I think I'd say I like the. I'm gonna take two. I'm gonna do that.
That's fine.
I really enjoy the Decibel as well.
Yeah, those are really
two
neat.
fun designs.
Yeah, I think I'm actually tied myself. I really like the cassette tape, and I really like that Turismo.
Oh, cool.
Those are both really neat knives. And actually, now that I'm looking at them together, very similar, but both really cool. Well, that's neat. There's a lot of great offerings on the table from Kershaw. As always, it's a pleasure to come by and chat with you about what you got coming out that's new.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out our other SHOT Show videos here in our 2019 SHOT Show playlist. And I think we're going to pack up and find out what else is going on.
Perfect. So if you want to see more about these knives, make sure you get the details from KershawKnives.com. And then when you're ready to buy them, go check them out at BladeHQ.com.
Beauty. See you guys.